What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 32 of the More Smarter Show with your hosts, Jake and Dylan. Jake, what do we have on the agenda today? All right, today we got Michael Czar. Michael is a home inspector in North Jersey, and he is the owner and operator of Safeway Home Inspections. Now, Michael, I don't think most listeners, I know I definitely don't give a shit about the inner workings of home inspections, but
most realtors don't. You're right.
I do give a shit about how you got to where you are and how your business operates. So can you tell us a little bit about where you started versus where you are today?
Sure. So it's kind of ironic. I had no intentions of being a home inspector, never pictured this growing into what it is or excited to see where it's going. I am a carpenter by trade, built houses, was in the carpenters union my whole life. I just worked construction my whole life. And years and years and years ago, I was buying a house and I realized the home inspector was a moron. And the guy just knew nothing. So that kind of prompted me going to school and figuring out what this entailed and what it didn't entail. Anyway, fast forward, here I am, myself and 3 full-time inspectors and office manager and myself. This is what we do now every day, all day, every day.
Yeah. Obviously, you started off as solo first and grew to now having multiple employees and different inspectors. So
Yeah.
what was that rise to kind of where you are right now like?
So I never even really wanted employees, to be honest with you. My employees were more like family and kind of felt the need to grab them when I found them or when I realized they were willing, if that made sense. I was really okay solo, kind of doing everything. And there's a lot that goes into having people who work for you and having people who rely on you, every week. It's a lot. So first home inspector hired just literally fell into my lap. I did his mother's home inspection, and he was there representing his mom, and he was just a really good dude. And it was a friend of a friend. You know how the business is, guys, right? You kind of always know somebody somehow. And he was a contractor, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore. I'm competing against this one and that one, and who doesn't have insurance?" And blah 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 blah. I said, "Ah, you should be a home inspector." He's like, "Oh, maybe I'll come on a couple, see if I like it." I said, "Yeah, that'd be cool." So we linked up, and he's like, "There's no way I can put this all together, like software and report writing and insurance and this and that." Blah, 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 blah. And here we are, 11 years later. He's with me. So that's
Love
how I
that.
ended up with him.
Love that. So
Yeah.
why does it make sense for someone like him to not just go start his own company?
Hmm. It's really, really hard to get the phone to ring. Like really hard. Also, they get to shut it off. I don't. I'm doing things like the More Smarter Show. Rob Dylan, you know Rob. Jake, I don't know if you ever met Rob, but particularly Rob, he coaches football and he loves to coach football. So he takes off for 3 months every day. He only does a 9 o'clock inspection. So if you own the company, you can't do that. He also takes
That
a
makes
month off.
sense.
Yeah, he also takes a month off every summer. Um, and they do a family thing for a month. I don't do a family thing for a month. I do a family thing for 3 days, and I gotta get back to the office.
Makes
Um,
sense. Yeah, it's similar to any job then, even real estate too. It's why would you not start your own brokerage versus being a realtor or somewhere in between? Yeah.
Also, the upfront cost. Here's another thing, guys. I didn't know if I knew what it would cost or the amount of licensing or education that I would need, I would have never started this. Never in a million years I would have started. I know myself. I liked being a carpenter. I enjoyed construction. I enjoyed the guys. I enjoyed the process. So you become a home inspector, you get a home inspector's license. You still can't go work, right? You have to have errors and emissions insurance. Well, now all of the realtors want one-stop shop. So you need a radon license. So you need an oil tank sweep certificate. You need a sewer line inspection license. You need a lead safe inspection. There's a lot to get it all up and running, as opposed to where you just kind of show up like, "Hey, teach me how to be a home inspector." So the work is one thing, and then the business is another thing. So I think that's why most guys, I know that's why my guys don't do it themselves.
Mm. And it's just keeping everything in order too, because one thing that we bring up a lot of on the More Smarter Show is there's different levels of, I guess, producing in a business where we call it the 100 by 100 rule, where you can do 100 things for $100 to make $10,000. And as a realtor, you can sell one house to make $10,000. And there's multiple other businesses that are like that. But home inspections, it's more like 1,000 times 10. And if you want to put up, big numbers, you got to do a multitude of home inspections every single
It's a
week.
grind. It's definitely a grind. We're nonstop chasing work. It's a grind, and there's literally 4 of us 7 days a week at it. So you can imagine how many we need to fill everybody's schedule. It's a lot.
So you mentioned some add-ons like radon tests or tank sweeps and things like that that are included or added on to a home inspection.
Thank you. Not included. Ooh, you got me nervous, Jake.
Not included.
Take
Included
it
in,
easy,
in, in,
Jake.
the- in the day,
Losing
right?
money here. What was it?
Yeah, it included not financially, but as part of your
Yes.
services, you would add that on.
So I think that's where we actually can make a living.
Yeah.
The home inspection itself, to be honest, is terrible. We're $550 for a complete home inspection, and it's approximately 20 to 30-page report, 2 hour-ish, hour and a half, 2 hour type. After we've typed thousands of them, it still takes that long to produce a report. It's a lot of information, and everybody's weighing their every word on what we type. So $500. The add-on services, you're already there. The radon, not so much. Oil, you do okay. Soil line inspection is very good. Um, Lead safe inspection has been tremendous. Um, but again, the upfront cost it's a lot. It takes a lot. And if I had to do all this just to get the doors open, there was no way I would have been able to do it all at once, at one exact time.
So at what point did you realize that you needed to do these add-ons, right? Because I
Say it
mean,
again, Dylan. I'm sorry.
no,
What
yeah.
point did I realize what?
So you started off with just doing the regular home inspection, and then you
So when I
eventually had
started,
to, yeah.
yeah, when I started, we did just the standard home inspection and radon. That was the industry standard. Hour and a half. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Nice seeing you. Great. Goodbye. Um, Home inspection, radon. We used to subcontract termite inspection. So I was scheduling this guy, and he was then charging me. And coincidentally, he was always finding termite issues. Well, then I found out that he was also leaving invoices in people's mailboxes to correct it. This is ridiculous. This is terrible. This is not a way to serve a customer correctly. So I went and I got my pest applicator's license. I never sprayed chemicals in my life. I can care less. I don't want to do that. But now I'm able to do that in inspection. So then it was home inspection, termite, and radon. So then I don't want to say one of the first guys, but I was one of the newer guys. There wasn't a lot of us doing all of it. So right there, I picked up a lot of work. A lot of realtors were like, oh, this guy's good. We don't have to come back for somebody else.
Hmm.
Um,
That is
so that was the
huge.
first. Go ahead. What's that, Jake?
That is huge. I hate making multiple trips when I don't have to.
So then I kind of built my business on that. Um, Believe this or not, and it's just funny because you guys are the younger generation now compared to me. When I started, I swore I would be on the cutting edge of technology with a website, with the ability to process credit cards. 20 years ago, that was kind of like, whoa, he has a credit card machine attached to a phone. It was pretty cool, Um, so I wanted to produce an all digital report with pictures and user friendly terminology. I felt that would help me gain traction in the industry where the average age was like, I think the average home inspector was 85 years old at the time. It was a real old man business, and they
Yep.
showed up with a checklist, and I said, I'm going to disrupt this. I'm going to go against a lot of this and try really hard to, have a website and have social media. It just wasn't a thing at that time. But, so we coupled those 3 together: home, radon, and termite. Then the next big one that really came along was oil tank sweeps. And again, I started subbing it out, and it was fantastic. I mean, the guy was great. I'm still friends with him. He never did anything even remotely close to frowned upon. He was fantastic, but it's a nightmare for me to schedule it and not have the ability to have him show up. Oh, Mike, I can come tomorrow. Let me check. It's not my job. And then I looked at the equipment, and I'm like, oh my God, this equipment is really not that expensive.
Yeah.
If I buy the equipment and I get trained on it,
Mm.
I'm going to get that much more work. So I bought the equipment, I got trained on it. What I didn't realize, but these are all growing pains, right? This is how you you learn what the insurance policy would cost on the environmental portion is astronomical. So we started doing tank sweeps. So then it was home, radon, termite, and tank.
So when you're doing this, there's obviously like a lesson behind this, that it's yes, there's more liability and responsibility behind keeping everything in house, but you're making more money and you don't have to deal with the subcontractors aspect of it. And
So
that's
definitely a
big.
lot less headache. 100% I agree. The subcontractor portion is a nightmare. No matter how good the other guy is, he's not at my beck and call.
Yeah.
So as wonderful as they are, they're just not at my mercy. So when we do it all in house, it's a lot easier. Some of the insurance, it's like really scary what we pay. People are like, "Oh, how much you charge for an oil tank sweep? $200? It's crazy. You just walk around and
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
policy." Yeah, of course you are. I can read it on your forehead. Most of you realtors think exactly the same. So the policy started around 4,500. So okay, I mean, I can make sense out of that, 4,500. But it increases, actually. It doesn't decrease because you're exposed to more. So it's a lot of money to be able to do tank sweeps. So we have to do a lot of them just to break even, like a whole lot. So everybody's got to do a couple tank. Can you please make that quiet?
So
Thank
I
you.
I want to go back to your employees. When I'm looking for a home inspector, when I'm recommending someone, what do you think, Michael?
Which we
What do
should
you
talk
think?
about later, who you recommend. Go ahead, Doc.
Are you available Saturday?
Absolutely. Myself and Robert, if you need somebody. Go ahead, Doug. What was it?
So let me ask you, Michael, what do you think is the first thing I'm looking for in a home inspector, other than handsome?
Honestly, so I am probably the worst businessman in the world. Background. What is your background?
I'd say maybe that's like 1B, because that's a good answer. For 1A for me is communication and your way of delivering a message to a first-time home buyer and me, and to educate us while we're there. And
Okay.
there's an alarming home inspector and there's a down-to-earth home inspector. And those two differences, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. And I think that's super important. Now, that's coming from me, who has bought a home sight unseen. So I'm a little, less risk
Mhm.
averse there than most people, but I feel like that's important. How do you, I guess, when you have employees, how do you know that they're going to be like that?
So can we do 1A and 1B first?
Uh-huh.
1A was you rather a better communicator than somebody with more experience.
Sure, I would like both, but
Or
sure.
maybe you were
Yes,
thinking
yes.
maybe,
Hmm.
or equally as important. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I disagree. I think if you don't have the background that I have or my guys, I think you become that alarmist to cover your
Mm.
ass. I think you become the person who has to turn everything into a big deal and puff up his chest to show how much he knows because you're really hiding the fact that you don't know. So we, Safeway, we go about it completely different. I put my reputation and our knowledge on the line every inspection. I try not to make a big deal over it because I really know the truth. So I think they go hand in hand, 1A,
That's a
1B.
great response. I totally agree with that. Totally.
Yeah. So, um, at the end of the day, I don't make a ton of money off of my guys. I wouldn't have them if they weren't absolutely great. And everybody has this is so I told you I'm not a good businessman, but this is how we operate here. Came on at least 100 inspections with me before they went on their own.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
get in
I
the
didn't
truck,
know
we'll
that.
go for lunch. Absolutely. So if
I
you've
think
ever
one
noticed,
s- I think 1C is I want my inspector to be a shitty businessman.
so it actually works out good when your inspector's a shitty businessman and you tell everybody the truth, you get a lot of work.
That's what I'm saying.
You really
Yeah.
you really do. So it's just inherent. The more the more smarter you are, right? I like that. The the more honest you are, and the more ability you have just to tell people the truth without covering your butt. So your background plays a huge role in it, Dylan. I know we refer to your family, being contractors or carpenters, guys who've taken houses apart and make the best home inspectors. That's who does. Not a guy who can read it in a book. You know nothing. You memorize 4 lines or 4 rules. This has to be this. Well, it does, but if it's a little off, it really nothing's perfect. We don't live in that ideal world. So I can tell you wholeheartedly, I also build 2 houses a year, God willing. So w we, me and my guys, were still involved in houses being opened up, beams getting put in, and, we go not that we learn, we kinda just hang out there and have a cigar and check out the project, but we're amongst the construction every day. So when you're hiring a home inspector, if it's not me, it's a mistake, but, if it's not,
Yep.
you wanna know their background. What did you do for a living?
Mm,
What "Oh, I used to be an Air Force pilot." That's awesome, and thank you so much for your service, and I respect that. I'm not a good home inspector. You fly airplanes, you don't put houses together. I put houses together. So to me, it would be background and your ability to communicate the information. We don't make a big deal over anything. Jake, let's just pretend for 1 second your uncle is a plumber. Would the water heater leaking be a big deal? No, of course not. My
definitely
uncle's
not.
gonna come over and
Yeah.
fix it anyway. I don't care.
Yep.
Or if my cousin's an electrician, we don't care. Oh, Dylan, I think the last time we did your cousin's house, wasn't
Hmm.
he a heating and cooling guy or
Yep. Yep.
and
Plumber.
none of that was a big deal. He was like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care. Yeah. Okay, let me put it in the report. Of course I have to. I'm obligated to." So that's how we go about it. Okay.
But the
We
biggest
try to tell everybody.
Yeah. I mean, not to cut
uh,
you off, but I would say one thing that's, like, super important is knowing the process of how home inspections play into the role of buying and selling houses
Yes.
yeah.
is massive as well. So, like, not to, like, geek out on real estate, but just knowing that in any sales business or, any businesses that you're in, knowing the process of how you integrate in the transaction is so important, and that's something that Mike is outstanding in. He's
Th Thank
words
you.
every single one of his communications through how are we going to be able to negotiate a credit, like how hard was it to get this house in the first place, how much
Yeah.
wiggle room do we
Well, it's
have to
super.
ask for credits.
I gotta cut you off, Don. I'm sorry. One of the other super important things is it's not my business what they should ask for, right? And so I tell people, just tired of these stupid jokes because now they're rinse and repeat. He's heard them a bunch, but I tell people often, like, hey guys, I don't know how much you're paying. It's not my business, but if you're paying $1, who cares? Just buy the house. Doesn't matter. Needs an electric panel. Not that big of a deal, right? No, and I mean, we hear this often, and it's not a big deal. It's $2,000 electric panel. Who gives a shit? Just swap it
Yeah.
out.
I remember
So
how nervous I was for my first home inspection, when I was buying my first property, the home inspection. And I remember how not great I felt after it. And looking back, thankfully, I made it through that. I felt like my inspector at the time was too much of an alarmist for a rookie like me to even hear that stuff and the way he was
right.
articulating it and being dramatic.
Yeah, it's just
Looking back, not
ridiculous.
happy. Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow morning we're
Your
doing a home
inspection, yeah, for
inspection.
your
We're doing my
purchase.
yeah, for
I
my
didn't know if we
first
were talking about
purchase.
that or not. I was gonna, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
no,
cool.
no,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, we're doing
open
his
book.
home inspection tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. So we're doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike and I are going to. So we're hopefully we don't have that exact same experience that Jake had, where I'm walking away like, oh
You
gosh.
might. Why am I doing this? Oh my god, this
Yeah.
house is such a piece of crap. And here's the other thing. I don't know how to say this nicely, so give me a second. Who am I to tell you what should be acceptable for you and your family? It's not my business. So when I was mentoring under a licensed home inspector to get my license, you have to do 40 walk along, ride along kind of things with other guys. And I went out with a complete moron, and he was just arrogant. He was terrible. He wasn't a nice person. And it was a single woman and her 2 children at the inspection. I can remember like it was yesterday. Port, New Jersey. Not really the best house. Definitely entry level price, like very entry level price. And, it was beat up a little bit. It was. And he kind of made like a couple off backhanded, offbeat, kind of really nasty thing. Like, look at this. Reminded me of my mother, my sister, and I. I grew up without a father. My father passed away when I was a kid. It was me, my mother, and my sister. We did nothing. We had no money. Nothing. Well, my mom bought a house by the grace of God. It was a complete accident. The home inspector, or at the time it was an architect, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So this woman reminded me of this. So we're in the crawl space, and this guy is like talking shit about this lady, and I'm like, dude, ease up, man. It looks like it's a single lady with 2 kids. Like, just take it easy with it. Enough. We get out at a crossroads. He's like, I wouldn't buy this house. I'm just telling you. And I'm like, now I'm the apprentice, if you will, right? I don't even have a home inspector's license. And her eyes tear up, like, you can tell she's going to start crying. And I'm like, oh my, this is shitty. Like, how are we talking? Like, this is, so she's like, well, what's wrong? And he's like, well, the main beam in the house is like, it's falling down. It's shit. Why are we even here? So I said, ma'am, I really, I gotta be honest. I think, and he got in my face and started pointing. And at the time, I was much bigger and much better shape. And I asked him nicely, so can you take 1 or 2 steps back? I promise it's not going to go good for you if you don't get out of my face. Like just a little. And he's like, you don't get to talk on the inspection. You shut up. I'm like, dude, ease up. I said, man, there's some wood down there that definitely needs to be replaced. I would personally get to it sooner than later as I'm a carpenter. The whole entire thing is a couple $1,000. She said, I want my kids out of public housing. I need to get my kids out of New York City public housing. And I said, this is the greatest place to do that. Which, listen, wasn't New York City public housing. It was decent. It was a decent neighborhood. The house was pretty beat. So anyway, that's how I kind of try to deliver still 20 something years later. Like, hey guys, these are things that should be fixed prior to closing, blah, blah, blah. Unless it's tomorrow, Dylan, we're going to train wreck that thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna go hard tomorrow and
Yeah,
point
we're gonna
everything
go.
out.
Yeah. So we were talking about add-on services. Can I get back there?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did home, radon, termite, oil, and then this sewer line inspection. Now, I don't know how long you guys been realtors. Were sewer line inspections always part of the transaction, your whole experience, or no?
Yeah, I've been for like 6 years, and it has been.
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
licensed about 48 hours, and it's been the whole time, really.
48 hours. I remember when that started. And I was like, oh, there's no way I'm doing that. That's gross. It's nasty. Who wants to, so we just outsourced it. Again, here I am again. It's in repeat. And I see it coming again. And I'm like, and the guy ended up being a real pain in my butt with the schedule. And then he's like, well, that's a little further. You should pay me more. And it just became this whole headache. So I went and bought 4 pieces of equipment and we just started doing those ourselves also. Lead safe certificate, or do you guys deal with a lot of rentals? Do you know what that is or no?
Yes. It's a
Cool.
newer law.
Very new. Very
Yep.
new. But I said, I'm not going to get caught this time subbing it out. I'm just going to go get it before anybody else. So I've had it, I guess it's been about a year now. So try to do that ourselves also. We just started doing mold testing. And thanks to Dylan, we just started doing drones and roof testing.
Really, you did it?
Well, yeah,
awesome.
you were like the straw camel's back thing, however that works. I lost a job. Where was it? Nutley, maybe,
In
or
Nutley.
Bloomfield? Or,
Nutley.
yeah, because his guy wanted a drone inspection. I said, we don't use drones. I got to be honest, I don't really think it's that much better of a job. Totally honest, I don't.
Yeah.
But it, I look back and I probably lost 3 or 4 jobs that year because we didn't do drone inspections. So now here we are, pilot license, more insurance, more blah, 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 blah. So it irritated me that we lost a job and I it just bothered me. So I got the drone license and I passed so far. The guys are now taking the test. I do everything first and I let them do it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. So,
Yeah. Well,
um,
so with everything that you're saying right now, it seems like there might come to a point where you're almost doing too much. Is that at all a concern?
right now, it's a total concern when I have a shit realtor. Um, and here's what happens. The realtor who's 65 years old and remembers that our home inspection, it's not that job anymore. We don't live in that world. We're done. It's now an information driven society. Everybody has access to all of this information. So if you were to hire me, not you, you're too young, both of you. Let's say your parents were to hire me to do a home inspection 25 years ago. Oh my God. Mike was great. He's a carpenter. He said the house is strong and it's got good bones and let's go. Yeah. Now people are like, how much longer is my roof going to last? And how much? It's so much more detailed. The report is so much than 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I'm questioning, are we going to have the ability to do more than 1 or 2 inspections a day? And we're not.
Mm,
If we get this whole package put together, home inspection, radon, oil tank, termite,
mm.
sewer line, lead inspection, do you guys know how many people want a mold test before I get there? Jake, back to terrible businessman. I'm like, let me get there first, please. It's ridiculous for me to spend your money if there's no evidence of mold, right? It just doesn't make sense. No, we just want it. So, am I going to end up with 2 guys on each truck? Are we going to try to just book 1 job a day? If it's a big job, I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go.
Are you doing your own paperwork right now?
Me, like
Yeah.
physically, this
The re-
minute?
yeah. No, not this minute in life. The reports. Are you doing them yourself? Hey.
Hey.
So not everyone watches. Some people listen. So we just saw who's that next to you.
So, am I doing my paperwork? No, that's the boss over there. She's
There's the boss.
handling all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Lisa's doing all the paperwork. What are you working on, Lee? Oh, she's working on Instagram. Okay.
Okay, that's big time.
How important was that? Was that part? Was that aspect?
Lisa?
Obviously, you're
Critical.
you're building out the four other home inspectors to buy time with whoever you want to work with, but the back end is important.
Again, none of this was supposed to take place, guys. This wasn't a plan. Dylan, you're super smart. Jake, I don't know you that well. You seem intelligent, but I know I talk a little bit.
I'm decent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dylan's like methodical with his plan. This is what I'm going to do next, and my target, and I got to figure out a structure. I don't do that. I know, guys. Listen, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm a construction worker, right? I'm a construction worker who does the best he can do for his clients every day. And when I feel the need for something, oh, by the way, that's how I found Lisa, right? So Lisa was contemplating work, not work, where she is, maybe moving, maybe not moving. Let's come hang out over here. She's like, really? Yeah, really? Come hang out. Lee, how long did I know you? 20 years? 15 years?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. And I was like, just get, I don't know if you're cool with working for me. She's like, yeah, you're cool. Does the dog show up to work? The dog shows up to work every day, right? There she is. Yeah.
Aw.
Well, this is just kind of how we do it.
Nice.
I was really burnt out. I was tired of being in this office, which, by the way, is new office. I didn't always have an office. I kind of had a briefcase and a dining room table and, a back room and a bedroom here. And then I had a little spot at my beach house. It was a nightmare. You're setting up and breaking down 100 times. I need a space. So I built this office. And then I was in the office till 10 o'clock every night. I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'm doing payroll. The guys should get paid as quickly as I can. And Instagram should go up as quickly as it can. And paperwork has to go out as quick. I just couldn't do it. So then I found I wasn't working just to do the paperwork. So again, Dylan, no plan. It just kind of happened and you just take the next step, right?
Honestly, the biggest thing that Jake and I going back and forth about is being stupider. I'm not even gonna go in with the complicated words this time. But
He can't say naive. It's ridiculous.
no, I know how to say naive, like
Or
naive.
the
in a-
noun of that.
Yes, yes.
Naive. Yeah, that's a tough one, huh, Dylan?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
so
what he's trying to
it's
say. Yeah.
yeah, but no, it's good. It's good to be naive in business where you just take action and you don't be methodical with it, and you don't write down plans and have big ass boards like that over there and that throw you off of just taking action.
So one thing about being a carpenter, like real construction worker, I ran a lot of big work, like serious construction. Not an addition on the back of, not that addition on the back of the house is easy. I'm just saying I ran a lot of bigger work also. Commercial projects, like real big stuff. And one thing that resonated with me was one of my foremen who I loved when I was an apprentice. He'd be like, oh, yeah, you're the lead guy up on 2, 3, and 4. Go run the second, third, and fourth floors. 20 years old and hungover. Like, what do you mean? He's like, Mike, just go do what you know. The rest will fall into place. And that stuck with me the rest of my life. And I tell my kids, just do what you know. The rest will fall into place. There's so much that needs to be done. Start and then just keep going and just do the best you can, and the rest will just fall into place. It's how it works out. It's how you read a blueprint. Where do you start reading a blueprint? The front door, the back door, like just, oh, okay, here. Okay. And then go around. Do you know what I'm saying? So just
Yeah.
start.
So I'm afraid to ask this
very,
question, but where do you see your
oh,
business in 3, 4, 5 years? Or
sold. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm only kidding. I love it. I'll never sell. I'll probably die in this seat or hopefully a new one, but I love it. I love what I do. I'm very, very lucky. Where do I see it in 3 or 4 years? Um, I don't know. There was some talk of, maybe my son coming this way. He's starting college next year. Would it be awesome as a father to have my son work here? Yeah, of course. Is it fair I get to pick his destiny? No, not at all. He is going to school for engineering, so it would be a nice overlap, right? Um, I mean, I definitely see, I'm talking right now with another one of my friends. Um, Best friend, like childhood friend, which probably is not a good business move. But again, I've proved that wrong how many times. But best childhood friend, we were carpenters together. We got in a union together. We built houses together. We sheetrocked houses. Like we did everything together. And I started to fade away from the construction because my body was breaking down. You just can't do that much work every day for that many years. You just can't do it. And I got into this, and he's now regretting that. So he actually may come tomorrow, though, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just like a little ride along. He just comes in the truck and is trying to see if he wants to be a home inspector. So where do I see it going? I'd like another guy or two, sure. How much work is out there? Am I going to start doing level 2 chimney inspections? I don't know. You guys tell me. Do you want me to or not? I mean, are you tired of dealing with level 2 chimney inspectors who recommend a liner for every fireplace?
Yes.
Really? That
I like what you got going on because you're very much roll with the punches, but your head is also on a swivel of thinking a few years in advance. So it's not like one complete or another.
correct. You have to do what you know. So I'm really good at home inspections. These ancillary services keep making more
Yeah.
and making sense. If we realistically, if we plug in a big job in a big house, not tomorrow, next day, Chatham is the next day. Doesn't matter. So totally irrelevant. One day this week, I have like 5,800 square feet to inspect. It's a really, really nice house. Just the inspection alone is going to be a couple hours. Then the ancillary services. Uh, if I'm there myself, I can be there literally the entire day. Is that fair to do to customer realtor? Like literally to be there 8 hours? Like that's hard. How does a guy who doesn't have two, three, four guys accomplish that?
Yeah.
So, I brought three guys. It was myself and two other guys to a house down the shore. Monster, biggest house I ever looked at. We broke it into chunks, into sections. He did structure and heating. He did plumbing and electric. I did and it worked really well. The customer was super happy. Realtor only calls us. Mike, can I get threes again? Mike, can I get three? I said, it's a townhouse. You don't need three. This is ridiculous. So we try to cater to everybody's needs as much as we could, right?
I might have one for you, seriously, in the next week or so. It's big
Call,
though. It's
call
big.
Lisa.
It's a big house.
Lee, he's got one.
I got one, and it's going to be
Jake has a job.
the whole package too. It's going to be a lot of those add-ons.
Home radon oil sewer.
It's going to be all those. Yeah, yeah. I already
nice.
know. I know
Let's
this
do it.
buyer very well. I'm not the buyer.
Get it in quick because the prices are going up.
All right, good. See, he is a good businessman, Dylan.
Yeah,
Look at
right.
that.
He is. A sense of
A
urgency.
good businessman and know how to make money. Two different things, right?
That's true.
They're different.
That's true.
So the truth is, guys, I love this. And it sounds so corny. It's not work. I talk about houses. I build houses. Dylan, how many times have we talked about just houses for you or for me or for investment? I just enjoy it. So I'm really lucky. That's the business plan. Don't hate it and do the right thing for people.
Are you on Dylan's call list? Because Dylan just will call me and just talk about nothing for a fucking hour and overanalyze every move he made that day. You in that
That's
too?
an extreme. That's an extreme.
I think we do that for each other.
Sorry,
I'll call him, yeah, listen, it's okay. He's a good listener too. Try it. You should.
He is a good listener. He's a way better listener than me. I always say that.
Listen, And again, Jake, how old are you?
32.
Yeah, right. But this sweatshirt might be 32 years old. 20 what?
23.
Yeah, come on. I fucked up more stuff than you guys ever even did. Like, so serious. So I mean, I may not you guys, but like a newer agent, I probably bought and sold more houses than most
Yeah.
third-year realtors. I do one or two every year for 15 years. So I bought the 30 houses, 40. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot about the whole process.
Yep.
My flip house partner, one of them's a realtor, broker. The other one's a attorney. So we have the whole or a lot of the circle kind of cover. So we know the process well. So yeah, I call him a lot, ask him, hey, what do you think about this? He calls me not as much as I'd like, but he's getting there. Right? Call more, Dylan.
Yeah, so I think that is something that I get ridiculed by Jake so much on. And when I'm just touching I'm putting the feelers out for the people that I trust and I look up to. So and I think,
Yeah, that's
but I
terrible,
think,
right, Jake? Now you feel shitty, don't you, Jake?
Not really.
Everybody's over.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
Jake doesn't have a soul to
No
feel
soul.
bad.
Soulless. Yep.
Especially as a younger person, you have to be a good listener. You can't look at someone like both of you, with which Mike, you're building in people experience, and then Jake, all of his business experience. How am I going to look at you guys and not want to learn all the knowledge that you guys have gained through the hard work that you've put in over the span of multiple years? And it would be foolish of me not to do that. So that's what I would challenge literally every single young person out
So
there
that's
is to
what
call.
separates you. I'm being serious. That's what separates you from the rest of your generation. Um, and I feel that way when I talk to my guys. My guys are older than me. Like one guy's 70. This guy's been taking houses apart literally before power tools were invented. Like literally. Who am I not to hear what he has to say about it? So as long as you keep that mindset and you're okay with, hey, this is a possibility, or hey, this I love it sounds so corny. I love going to the continuing education when there's a new speaker, not when it's the same speaker. When there's a new speaker, I get to hear what he's been through. I get credit for it to, keep my license. And maybe I'll learn something. That's awesome. And usually there's a breakfast involved. It's not that bad, man. It's okay.
You can eat breakfast and listen to the More Smarter show as well. That'll cover 2 out of 3 of those needs for
2
you.
out of 3. 2
You
out of
you,
well, I
you
get
you
more
won't get any
smart.
credits. You won't get any credits for it.
You should think about that. So there's a real good angle, right? So I actually looked into that, hosting events for realtors to get CEs, but you guys all do them online, so
All
that
online. I would
fizzled.
never attend, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I know. That's why
Yeah.
it fizzled out. Nobody, unless I'm offering drinks. Now it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah, that's different.
yeah, drinks and CEs on Safeway. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also it's the network too that you're able to grow with that, whether it's like the communicating, being in person or whatever, talking online with people and getting to know them, and whether you're learning from them or you're helping them through something. It's the collaboration that I think is what builds a great relationship. And when you're able to do that at scale, that's when you are able to build this Rolodex of such amazing people.
I think it sounds simple, but just do the right thing. Just keep doing the right thing. Treat people the way you would want to be treated. It's really super simple. And Dylan, your generation made it harder. You have to be flashy on Instagram, and you have to have a $3 million car. And no, just do the right thing, man. Just like you do, exactly like do what you do. You show up, you schedule, you get it done, no problem. Jake, I worked with you real quick while we were there, but we didn't work together. Dylan holds this deal together like nobody. Just keeps the whole thing right. Yeah, these are things we should be asking for, and here's why. And I say, I'm going to stay out of it, and I walk away. It's not my business. He knows the contract in and out. He knows what they agreed to. Or, hey, listen, we could ask for it, but you're probably going to lose the deal because here's why. It's so important. So many. Listen, I can do a home inspection 40 minutes, right? Even with some of the add-ons. but I'm not talking to anybody. So nobody's getting the experience or the level of severity. And once you read it in a report, it's a nightmare. So good realtors allow us that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is, 2.5 hours, depending on the house services, that leeway to talk and bring people back down to reality. Hey guys, listen, this is what we're going to talk about, and here's the severity of, in my opinion, severity of blah blah blah. So I don't know. I just think it's important to
That's
just
great.
everybody
Dylan, I might.
slow it down just a little. And listen, I'm wound up. I drink a lot of coffee, and we get a lot of work done here. We really, really do. But when you're with the customer, you just give them what they deserve.
Dylan, I might hire you as my realtor next time I buy a house. Sounds like you're wonderful.
Yeah,
I
Mike's
got
doing a good job at selling me.
and it's not just you. There's a lot of good realtors. There are, and there's a lot of, oh my God, really? Did you just say that? Realtors, like, wow, oh, that can't be good for anything, right? Um,
Yeah.
I believe in it though. Serious. The more good you push out, the more it comes back. It comes back tenfold. It really does. I just did something totally free today. Again, stupid businessman, right, Jake? Totally free.
Yep,
I didn't make
one
$1.
C.
Well, yeah, 1C, stupid. Yeah. It was a friend of mine, kinda. He's in a chip lab, but it's okay, whatever. I didn't have anything happening this morning anyway. No big deal. Let's go. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking.
But every single time you have to answer that question, would you let your son or daughter buy this house? And
I
you
only
That
do
comes
that
up
because
a
I
lot?
like it. No. So
actually,
that's
it
part of
has
our.
multiple times. That's pretty asked question, right?
So we load the. We load it in that fashion also. I'll tell people, listen, I gotta be honest, this is a really cute house. This is okay. My daughter can definitely buy it if it was closer to New Providence.
That's what I'm
Sold,
saying. There's so many
done, we're good.
factors to that question. That's like saying, would you bunt here? Well, who's on deck? Who's the pitcher? What's the score? What inning is it? Like what?
They ask every job, or they ask something similar along the lines of that every job.
Like, would you buy this house? There's always
So
some
again, if
question.
you're willing to spend 2 hours on that inspection, that's how comfortable the customer gets with us. Is it exhausting? Yeah. Is it like, does he want to blow his brains out half the time? Like, oh my God, if he's saying this again, the next, oh my God, my God. Of
You got
course.
a great combo of jokes, though. You got like a jab, cross, hook of jokes.
That's
It's
big.
like
That's big.
lands
So
every time.
we try to just keep it light and fluffy, and we make the ridiculous remarks like, "Oh, this is a 30-pack job. Get one 30-pack and two of your buddies. You can fix it." Everybody chuckles like, "Oh no, I get it. Okay, cool."
I was
It's okay.
not chuckling at my first several, actually. I have a few homes.
So
First two there, I was not chuckling.
not on air. Give me the guy's name, and we'll find out what he used to do for a living originally. I can guarantee you it wasn't construction,
I already
and I
know what
can.
he used to do, and it was not construction.
Oh, look at me! And I can guarantee you what happens is, if I say it with authority, I'm now the knower of all. And now we build this report, and I put everything in a report. There is a crack, 150-year-old house. There is a crack in the wood siding this big behind the garage. The house is still standing. This is amazing. Look at it. So if we put everything in a report, we don't get sued. See, it's in a report. See, we're not that company. We're no yellow. We're green and red.
Nice.
Sometimes not nice when I'm getting sued.
That's it. Well, Mike, this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming on. And where can the listeners find you?
Safeway Home Inspections.com. Instagram. What is it like? Safeway Home Inspections. Real original here, guys. Safeway Home Inspections. Or they can find you and you can send them to me.
Yeah. There we go. That is the episode with Mike from Safeway Home Inspections. Follow,
Yes.
like, and subscribe to the More Smarter Show.
Only if you like it.